Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the country boy. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Now, y'all know the country boy don't use this technology, but I'm on here trying. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. So I'm using a different thing to stream on just to try something. I don't know how this works. Let me see. Share. Mm, I see. Okay, y'all can hear me. Send this link to your guests. You may also want to share our instructions for guests. You can have up to 10 people on screen at once. Copy the clipboard. So I'll put this link in here in case y'all wanted to come in here. I don't know if it worked for your phone. Probably complicated. And you know how Apple like to do? You know, Apple got the MacBook, so I'm on the MacBook, and Apple, their browser is Safari, but the streaming software does not work with Safari. You got to use Google's thing, which is Chrome. So Apple just try to always be incompatible with everything so that you just can only work with them. It's crazy how they be doing that stuff. But I wanted to pop on here just because I'm at practice, my son. So I wanted to make use of my time. And I did this video the other day. We only have about less than an hour. I did this video the other day. Now let me ask you something. Brittany, I seen Brittany pop on here. Now, let me ask you something. So you know what you're doing on here, Brittany? Shake your head. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing, so you just popped on here. See, now, can't have you on here. You don't know what you're doing now, Brittany. I can see you a little bit, though. Let me see here. And so I wanted to pop on here. Let me see if I'm going to add you to the stream now, Brittany. Keep your eyes on the road now. No, it's just show Brittany on here. Then is it Ari? Shake your head if that's your name. I'm going to shake your head if I say Ari. Now let me unmute you. Now, Brittany, let me unmute you now. All right, say something, Brittany.
Hi, Mr. Gaskins. How are you doing? Good evening. I'm going to the gym right now, so I'm in the car. Excuse me.
Okay. What city are you in? Let me add Ari on here.
I'm in I'm in New Jersey.
Hi,
Okay,
I'm in Atlanta.
you in Atlanta? Okay. All right, now 20 of y'all coming on here now.
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm in Atlanta.
Somebody's phone, I guess someone late.
All right, now 20 of y'all
Hi, I'm
coming
from
on here.
Connecticut.
I'm in New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm in Atlanta.
See how it's playing back. One of y'all phone playing back.
Hi, I'm from Connecticut.
I'm in New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm in Atlanta.
See how it's playing back. One of y'all phone playing
All
back.
right, now 20 of y'all.
Hi, I'm from Connecticut.
So which one of y'all phone doing that? Okay, then y'all mute your mic. All right. So I wanted to pop on here, and all y'all in the dark. Y'all need something spinning on your desk. So let me see. So maybe if you so now if unmute your mic if you got an opinion on this. Oh, that's you might have to turn off the multiple devices. So if you got on your phone or you got on the computer and the phone, or maybe if it's playing through your speakerphone on there, Brittany, through the car. Let me see how this works. Now, how you I post the link in the chat. But but you only can have 10 people on here now. So Jada, so y'all unmute y'all mic. So I'm curious just to hear what y'all thought about that post that went viral. Uh, Jada, what you think? Now, Jada, what you come on here and you eating and everything?
It's
I'm
dinner
sorry, I
time.
shouldn't laugh.
I'm sorry. I know I'm being a little ghetto, but it's dinner time. I just finished cooking.
So you
Right.
did you hear about the post that's where the woman said she's saving herself till marriage, and then the man said he's saving his money for his wife?
I didn't see the post, but I saw the video that you did with Caleb and the other guy.
Okay, okay, yeah. So what you thought about that? That what the guy said?
Oh, I disagree.
You disagree? Tell me about that.
Definitely. Because my stuff is worth more than that. I mean, mm-mm.
And so the woman saving herself from sex until marriage, and the man said, "Well, hey, I'm saving my money until marriage. Let's go Dutch."
Right. That shouldn't even be equal though, because money does not. That's not on the same level as my body.
Right? Okay,
It's
okay,
not.
Right, I
okay.
can pay your money back, but you know, if we need to take it there, you can get money back. I can't take away. If I give myself to you, I can't get that back.
Right. Okay. I see. I see. And so that is a good take on that. Now, do y'all think that was real? Like, do you think that was a real post or was made up? Because now people would think Talks with Tony is fake.
I
No,
think
it's definitely real.
because I
It's
think some
absolutely
men really
real.
do think like that. So
I've met men who think like that, so I know that that is a real post. So
Really? Okay. Yeah, that was my
definitely.
first time. That was my first time hearing of that. Um, and I thought it was clever. Like that, man. That's a good comeback. Like, sound like a guy that like to argue.
definitely.
Because I would have never thought of that. I was like, okay, this guy know how to argue now. But so hmm, that's a good point. A woman's body is greater than a man's money, and a man should be ready and willing to spend his money. But now, realistically, if you met a man, let me put Brittany back on here. I got you back on here, Brittany. If you met a man, now realistically speaking, and not just hypothetically speaking, but if you met a man and he was everything that you wanted in a husband, as far as his character, integrity, and those things, and he said, "Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna marry you or not. But if we do get married, I don't want to have wasted thousands of dollars on other women when that could be the down payment on our house, that could go toward our wedding. So I would rather go Dutch until, I get married." And he was what you wanted. Realistically speaking, would it be a deal breaker or would you give it some thought?
For me, I probably would give it thought. It depends, I guess, on the nature of the relationship. And if I know that we have communicated throughout this whole time while dating and we're working towards that end goal, I mean, I don't see it as being an issue because I'm not looking for your money in the first place. I have my own money. So I think if we work towards that and we both have that end goal, then within that time frame, we should know whether we want each other in that way or not. So I don't think it would be a deal breaker for me.
Hmm. And
You
now,
could
go ahead.
you could offer a compromise, like Caleb was saying. Some dates don't have to cost any money. So when you're going out, you could possibly 2 out of the 3 nights you go out, go by the lake and just talk and spend time with each other.
Hmm. Hmm. And now a question now, if you were the woman who that money was reserved for, would you appreciate that? Like, would you be like, man, instead of spending a few thousand a year on dates, you mean you went Dutch with these different women you dated, you and now you got this pot of money. If you were the woman that were the beneficiary of that, would you appreciate that, or would you be like, man, you crazy?
Of course, I'd appreciate it for sure. I mean, especially with long term goals, as far as getting a house together, saving for a wedding, kids, all of that. I mean, the money would definitely be an investment.
What you say, Jada?
Are you saying that the guy wouldn't spend any money on me until we got married? Is that what the question is?
Right, right. So like if y'all, yeah, yeah. So if y'all going Dutch and any other dates he's going Dutch and he's saving that money, and then you and him get together, y'all dating, and then y'all get married, but he saved all that money from dating. If you were the beneficiary of that mindset, him saving his money for his wife, would you appreciate it, or would you still think he was full of it?
Mm, um, I would appreciate it, but that just doesn't sound realistic because I think if that's his mindset, then something is a little off about that, I think. Because
Mhm.
it may be somewhat a form of selfishness. I'm only going off of my experience, and I don't think that's realistic for a man to not spend money on a woman until they get married. I would think that's odd. I would think there's something off about that. And it's hard. I think it would be hard to turn that on when you get married.
Right. I can agree to that.
Right, right, right. And the reason why I'm doing this, and y'all know I never share a camera and bring people on because I don't know what people gonna say, but I really can't wrap my head around it. I honestly can't wrap my head around it. So it's just so modern, it's so new that it just makes no sense to me. Because as a man, I kind of see spending money on dates as a part of the courting process.
Hmm.
And as a man, what I would do is I would spend a decent amount, like a normal amount of money. Like I wouldn't go to the most expensive steak restaurant, unless I just my heart was moved that way. But if my heart wouldn't be moved that way, I will go to a normal. It may cost $75, and then on that first date, then I'm gonna know if this woman has wife qualities, and then that'll lend to a second date and a third date, and then I would be spending money intentionally because it leads to. I know it could lead to something, but just so I can't wrap my head around this, and that's why I'm asking questions, because when stuff go viral, I don't know if y'all realize how real social media is. I think we should, but when stuff go viral, people really start to enact those things in their life. Like they really start to do that. And so, Dee, what you say? You hopped on here, and y'all just unmute your mic if you have something to chime in.
Yeah, for me, I think I can see it from both sides because I feel like if a male come with that perspective, they may be dealing with some trauma that they haven't healed from because I know they've spent money in the past to make them even think that way and feel like they wasted a lot of time and money on this certain person that didn't even work out. So it would make me question too, have you healed from that? Do you think because everyone isn't the same? And if you coming into it thinking that I'm a different person, but I'm going to do you the same way someone in the past did, that could be unhealthy as well. So I think there are a
Right
lot of different viewpoints for this particular conversation. So,
now, what type of woman would y'all say would a woman be if she said, "Hey, I'm saving myself until marriage," and then the man said, "Hey, well, I'm saving, myself until marriage, but I'm also saving my money until marriage for my wife." And then after a month or two, the woman gets tired of going Dutch, so she comes off the sex. She sleeps with the man. what type of woman would that be? Like, what would she have had to? What would be her mindset?
Mm, I think I don't want to say weak, but I mean because when if you stand on something, if that's what you are, that's what you say, that's what you want to stick to, then just make sure whatever decision you make is a decision you're making because of your own opinion or something that you truly want to do. I mean, if it's your standard, your belief, then you need to stand on that no matter the situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sharda say it's a lot of women out here who just want money, so I can see where this came from, and that's picking up. That's picking up. Um, y'all know how to unmute your mic. I see Kimberly on here. Did you unmute your? Let me see. Or do I have to unmute? Can't unmute your guest because they have to. They chose to mute themselves. Kimberly, you got an opinion on that?
She may have to enable her mic on the app.
Oh, okay. You might have to turn your mic on, Kimberly. Oh, it won't let you. Let me see. Okay. Can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. Kimberly, say you got yourself muted. Oh, no. Let me see if Layla. Mm. So Ari, is it Ari or Ari?
It's airy.
Ari. Okay. You don't want to know how to work your mic. Let me see.
I'm
There
here.
you go. Is it Lala or Layla?
Lala.
Lala. What's your take on this?
I just joined in.
So you just hopped on here. You don't know what we talk about?
What was the? No, I
We have.
went from YouTube because I watched your YouTube video, watching them. Then I saw you, and then I joined.
Yeah.
I,
Come on now. Come on now, Lala. Come
what's
on
the?
now. The question is, um, we talking about the woman who's saving herself until marriage, and the man said that he's saving his money until marriage. He wants to go Dutch until marriage. Let me see. Devontae, does your mic unmute?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Okay. What's your take on this, Devontae?
Well, I think I mean there's so many different ways you can definitely look at it. And one way that I would look at it like is you know, as a man, I think it's important for us to, you know what we want in a woman and know what a good woman looks like. So in terms of vetting a woman and approaching a woman, we should know who to approach. And once we approach that woman, you know, we talk to her, we start, you know, getting to know her and that sort of thing. And you know, as we're starting to date her, that is something that I feel like, you know, we can explain to her that I am wanting to save my money until marriage. And then based off that being the woman that you need to be with and knowing that that's, you know, you've chose the right woman, you guys can date around and then build a foundation in terms of looking forward to being married. And yeah, and I think just spending money just while y'all are dating is just kind of something that's going to happen. um but I think ultimately at least you guys know that you guys want to get married, so then you guys can come together and have that same mindset of knowing that okay, this is what he wants to do, and then I'm fine, the woman, I'm fine with that, so we're going to be working towards that. But you know, he still can spend money, he still can you know, buy certain things for her and that sort of thing. But yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. I see Dimples. She said, as you say, Tony, we independent until marriage, then interdependent. So I would respect the man's decision to hold his money. Just like I'm keeping my legs closed, he must respect my boundaries. And that was something that I just thought of. Is I was thinking like to say that you're abstinent until marriage, that's a big thing. And if a man is not a virgin, if he's used to having sex, if he's had sex, then he's giving up a big, he's making a big sacrifice because he's saying, this is my wife. I'm going to respect her wishes and I'm going to wait. But if he says that he's just withholding money, money is much smaller. It's a much, it's less important than sex. And so, to be fair, it sounds like the woman could say, well, all right, that's a new spin on things. I could respect that because I'm not giving you sex, and then you not spending your money on me because I might not be your wife. They're not the same, but it seemed like it could be, respected because the other is being respected. And so it's something to think about. Now, this is the thing that me as a man, I just, unless somebody come from up under one of these financial guys, I really can't see a man saving his money like, okay, this $75 I was gonna spend on this date, I only had to spend, $37.50 because I just paid my half. This other $37.50 I'm gonna put into a ETF or some type of savings account that has a high yield, so that when I have meet my wife, this money will have grown. Like, I can't really see a man doing that. Like some men, but very, 1 out of 10 or one out of 50. So it's almost like the man is, to me, it sounds like poker face. Like a man would be saying, hey, I'm going to save my money, but it's really like, okay, let me see how this make you feel, for me to take something back, for me to not have something in the relationship. Now you get that little feeling. And then if money is what makes a woman feel taken care of and appreciated and respected, and if sex is what make the man feel taken care of, appreciated, and respected, if she takes hers off the table, he takes his off the table. Now I'm guessing the guy is saying that
I
makes it
do,
easy.
but it's her account.
Okay, Lakeisha. Now unmute your mic if you have something to say.
I think too, with that situation for the guy to say that, I feel that he needs to genuinely know that he wants to be a husband and is ready to be someone's husband and is really on that journey, and not just saying that just so he can try to manipulate or get what he want out of the situation regardless.
Right. Because
Right.
that will bring the loose booties out. If you say, hey, I ain't
Facts.
spending no money, and then that woman say, oh, really? And then after a few dates of paying her own way, she go to hugging and kissing, and they go ahead and get to that bedroom. But then that would be something. Now, if that happened, and then the man said, hey, I said I'm saving my money for my wife, like, just because we fell into sin, like we slept with each other, that don't mean I'm gonna start spending my money. Now she done played herself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Definitely.
now, Devontae, is that something you would say now that you done heard this, that this man said this? Is that something you would say? Like, what would be your take on, or would you just put a budget on your spending on the dates, or?
Yeah, I think I would probably put a budget on that because I just think having a budget is, I think, essential in life just to begin with in every area of life because I think a budget promotes structure and stuff like that. So yeah, I would put a budget on it, and since I would continuously be in the process of becoming financially stable, I don't think money wouldn't be such a thing for me that I would be thinking about. So yeah, because I love spending money. So if I know that, I know I have to continue to make it. So I think a budget is something that I would definitely utilize.
Right. I see a lot of people say they agree with something Bree said, and Bree said if men actually paid attention to the caliber of women they were asking out, this would be a non-issue. And that's, I think it's kind of, you really don't know the caliber of a woman until you sit down at a date and you talk to her, because a woman could look amazing and she could look classy, but then be, somebody that'll sleep with you on the first night. And then a woman could be dressed in some leggings with, booty jiggling, and be waiting until marriage. I've noticed that too. That
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed in coaching and stuff, that a lot of virgin women dress seductive. And I'm kind of like, I didn't understand that, because I would see and meet women who were actually a virgin, but they would be dressed with, all their stomach out or all their leg out. And it was very interesting to see. And then you'll see some women who dress completely covered up, and they be right by that bedroom quickly. And so I think that too, it is kind of a gamble today. It's a gamble today with social media and everything going on. Elizabeth say he ain't going to save that money. It's a play. I believe that. Let me see. See, cool, Donnie. I see you join. What's your take on this? You caught up?
Yes. So I think that this is the importance of why you say to not tell a man that, before, well, really at all, but like not before anything has been established, because then you get stuff like that. And then it's like, well, now people are playing games, So I think that's like, this quote showed me why it's important to just move the way that you move and be about it instead of talking about stuff. Because then, like you said, that's how men come at it. And I definitely think it was a petty move. I don't think he really meant that, like, that's what he does. But I just think he was like, just trying to be, rude or whatever.
It sounds petty to me. That's the feeling I get. That I don't really think this a real thing. I don't think men really doing this.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a real thing. Not a serious man who's intentional about marriage. Because I feel like it's kind of like anything that you want, a ultimate goal, there's an investment multiple times over. So it's like when we
Yeah.
apply to college, every college that we want to get into, we got to pay an application fee. So anything that we want to do, we got to pay for. If we trying different services out, we're trying to find the right trainer. Every trainer, you done paid that $30 for that hour session to see if they the one. So I feel like it's the same thing with dating and courting. Is you paying for a date, and that could be the only date you do. But now if you do a second date, that means because you see potential, you're dating intentionally. And so this is not just squandering money. Now it is an investment. Now it's intentional. Like the money is going where you could see some fruit. Something could come from it.
Yeah, and
And
I think it's like something to be excited about. I think it should, bring some type of excitement to the point where it's like, man, I'm excited to spend money because you got the goal of marriage in your mind. So I think it should be more of a exciting type of moment.
Kimberly, you can unmute your mic.
Yeah, I figured the microphone thing out. I'm new to the whole social media thing, but my take on it from somebody who's made just about every wrong choice there is to make and then finally gave my life fully to Christ, to me, it kind of sounds like it's a person who's looking for a reaction. They just wanted to see how society and people in general were going to react. It wasn't even a statement that's necessarily based off truth, but more of, let me just see if I can get certain people worked up or certain people offended or get more views. You see, it went viral. So I really don't think that there was really any substance to it. It was more like, let me just say whatever is going to get me the most views. And it's unfortunate that so many people are now probably going to put that type of mindset into reality.
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh yeah, it's definitely about to get used. Definitely about to get used.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So
But
yeah,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
If a man actually voices that, he gonna end up getting married and she gonna take his money. I mean, if that's something that's voiced, he might meet one that's okay, I'm gonna marry you and I'm gonna get your money. So that's definitely not even wise to even for a man to voice that, because it would just be a game.
Mm.
And then she gonna play it. She gonna play a role.
Right.
Right.
And you know what? Because there are women who they've been through enough in life to where they just want security. They
They're
just
like,
want a man that's gonna have a job and gonna pay the bills. And so you're right, that guy may attract the wrong type of woman who may be like, okay, you saving your money for your wife. All right, I'm gonna play that role, and then I'm gonna get it all, and then we gonna be dating and Turks and Caicos and everything. And she plays that role. Whereas I feel like a woman who is more intentional wouldn't be wrong in taking offense to it, because courting and a man paying for dates is a part of the process. It's almost really like showing a woman, I see you as a wife. Like, I see you wife potential in you. So I'm making this investment. Like, I'm spending this money to show you that this is worthwhile, this is intentional, this serious. But if a man doesn't spend money, then he has no skin in the game. It's almost like if he doesn't pay for the date, then he's not really invested. He's not saying, I'm willing to be a provider. I'm willing to show that. And like Jada said in the beginning, it's really no comparison between a man spending 35, $75 on a date and a woman giving her body, which she could get pregnant, she could catch a disease, she gonna have a soul tie. It's no comparison between the two. So that is something Charlotte say is giving manipulation. I agree with that.
There's
That's
no
what
reason to get offended though either. If you're a person who's whole on the inside and somebody says anything that's based off of emptiness, just dust that off and keep right on moving.
right. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah. Let me see. Erica, I see you down there, but it don't have your camera. It don't have your camera on there. I don't know. So yeah, this is something to think about. And it's crazy, with this media and how stuff pops up and just it, but I'm telling you, I just see social media as so strong, and that now this gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna be a whole argument, and it'll be a lot of men that agree with it. It sounded clever to me, as I thought through it. I'm like, okay, it's not really the same. You can't really equate the two, but it did sound like a clever response, like somebody had a good, comeback. Say, what about if he spends up front, then becomes cheap after marriage? And that's the thing. Life got a lot of ifs. Life got a lot of ifs, but that's really rare, because if a man willing to spend on a girlfriend, you somebody he's dating, it's a rare chance that he will become cheap after marriage, because it's a lot more at stake in marriage than it is when you dating. So if he's willing to spend in dating, it kind of says something. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something that's funny and not funny, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. So, and this one thing I want women to think about, and y'all ladies help me understand this now. Y'all help me understand this, because today, because I'm a married man, and I don't talk to no counselor or nothing like that. But y'all ladies can help me understand this. But you kind of have to put your mind in another space. So let's say your man has a $5,000 credit card, and you getting ready to go out for an event, and he say, hey, go buy this your husband, he say, go buy some clothes. And now the woman goes and she spend 4,000 now of the 5,000, and the man said, hey, this money is our money. Now what is it with women, and y'all ladies be honest with me now, especially in marriage, what is it with women and spending money? If especially if the man is the provider, it's different when you provide for yourself. But do y'all ladies see a man's money, what he earns, what he's providing, do you see it as different than your money?
Hmm.
Y'all answer that. Jada, you shaking your head. Unmute your mic.
I think everybody does.
Yes, I've
Okay.
been
Oh, and
married,
y'all
so yes.
say that again.
I said I've been married, so yes, I definitely viewed it as his money. but I was also reminded that it was his money. So I haven't experienced the side of him truly feeling like, okay, we're one, and it's not my money, it's our money.
Right. And Lakeisha, what was you saying?
I was saying, I think everybody kind of loses that idea of it being our money when it's someone else's money. Because if you
Mm,
give me $100, I'm not gonna look at it as me working for that $100.
mm,
So
I
I think
see. I
that,
see.
and also if she spends $4,000 of the $5,000 credit limit, that's also, I mean, she's your wife now, so there's nothing you can do about it, but that shows the lack of financial
Mm-hmm.
savviness that you have towards maxing out a credit card.
Yeah, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say too. I think a lot of time it depends upon your knowledge of financial literacy. Because for me, I'm not getting your utilization of that high because I wouldn't do it for myself, and that's our money, so it's going to affect the both of us, you know. So, um,
Right. I just always hear men. I've always heard men say, "Man, I've never seen a woman good with money." And I always hear men say that. And I always notice when a woman is not working, I go to birthday parties and stuff where the woman may not be working and the husband is, he's working. And but the woman has control over the finances, and it'd be a lot of extravagant stuff going on. And so I'm just trying to understand, as a man, is it the woman having faith in the man, like, I know he's an earner, I know he can make this, I know he's gonna get it back? Or is it just like a stimulus check? This his money, so I'm gonna just spend it. Wow! But if it was my money, I'll be saving for the future.
I think it depends on the. I feel like if a woman is gonna just outrageously spend his money, she'll do the same with hers. Like,
Yeah.
and I know, and for me, I think it could go back to what you grew up around as well. Because with my family, the men in my family, they've always been providers. Like, I never saw my grandma work a day in her life. My brother and his wife, she doesn't work, but they don't spend like just crazily. Like, so for me, and I work in finance too, so, and I have a lot of financial literacy. So for me, I think it would just depend on your background as well. So,
Yeah,
Mm,
I agree because it took me, my parents have never been good with money, so it took me like living to get better with my money. So it would be a lack of discipline on my end if I was just spending someone's money on whatever and not really being mindful of it.
hmm. And so, when it comes to money, because that's what the man say, he's saving his money until marriage. How do y'all feel it should be when you get married? It should be our money, or should it be his money, her money, and then they put it into an account for house money?
Every situation is unique, so that should be a conversation had before marriage to make sure both
mhm.
parties are on the same page, because what fits one person, what fits this relationship might not fit the next. So
Mm-hmm.
I know women
That's
that are happy having no financial responsibility and their husband makes all the money and pays all the bills, and I know women who work that are married and they go almost Dutch with everything even as married. So that's really an independent conversation before marriage to make sure everybody's on the same page so it doesn't become a problem once you are married.
mm-hmm. That's a good point, and rightfully so. But if we had to decide, what do you think? What's y'all take on that? The ideal situation.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I feel
really,
like I'm talking so much.
me
I
No,
like
too.
how
you all right.
I like how you and your wife do things.
Yeah.
I think that's, for me, that would make me comfortable to have our own accounts, a joint account that, the household expenses come out that joint account, and I have my own account. And I know you were talking about, not liking the word allowance, but I like that because I think it makes everybody feel more comfortable. For me, it would. I don't know about anybody else, but I like the way that y'all do things. Um, so that's what I would want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
And
just
and
makes
I'm
things.
and Go ahead, Devontae.
I said it just makes a lot of sense that way. I mean, I think people make it harder than it needs to be, honestly.
Mhm.
It's I mean, y'all together, so I mean, I don't wouldn't even feel right saying being married to my wife and saying, "Oh, this is my money." That don't even. That kind of I don't know about that. Anyway,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's our money. It's, we a team. We thugging it out together. Like, let's do it.
yeah, I actually just had this conversation with my sister-in-law last Friday, and she was because she isn't working right now, and my brother is the sole provider. So she was saying how she just started doing like little side gigs because she just wants her own type of income coming in. Just because she was like, I do have my own bills that I go out and create my own, and I don't feel right making him pay for those, even though he's okay. He's never like complained about it, but she was like, I feel guilty because I go and create these small little bills that we don't necessarily need or have to have. So I feel like I need to get some kind of money on my own, and that's just for her own comfortability. So I think it just
Mm-hmm.
depends on the situation and the person as well, and what makes them comfortable.
I see. And now, how much should, if you are a wife, if y'all not a wife right now, if when you become a wife, how much do you want? And if you're gonna have children or adopt children, and you're gonna be home with the children, as women, how much do you want? Would you want that man to earn or get up to, or try to get up to, so that the house could be comfortable? Y'all give me some numbers.
Um, I guess I can't really say I have a set number, but I do know that for me, I feel like we would need to be equally yoked. If I'm making six figures, I mean, you don't have to make exactly six figures, but make enough to be able to afford the lifestyle that we both agree on that we want. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I need a number now, because
not
finances.
really.
How many children?
Let's say
Good.
two children.
What's
Oh,
what's that? 200,000,
Okay, who said that?
Erica.
Okay, I see you, Erica. I see you. 200,000. Ari.
Yeah, if it's gonna be like a four-person household, we would need at least 200K because, and for me, I
Okay.
really like I look at numbers, but more so multiple streams of income. Like we can have this stream going towards this one thing, this next one going towards that, and just building and investing like that. And the thing, because I say that I'm into investing too, so you can come with this little bit of money, we're gonna flip it and make it something for the long term. I mean, as long
Mm,
as we can afford right now and we're building for the long term in the future, I don't really just see like a set number. Like, of course,
mm-hmm.
it can't be too low, but it needs to be enough for us to afford. But we can flip the
And
money.
you know what, Ari, you said something now. Now you say you work in finance, you got a little financial literacy.
Mhm.
Um, so what that mean? Like working in the banks or working in credit?
Well, I'm in corporate finance. Well, right now I'm in IT now, but my background was accounting and finance. Actually, that's what I went to college for.
Right.
And I've been working in corporate for the last about 3 years now. So I do more of corporate finance. So dealing with the big companies and predicting finance is more for predicting the future. Like I'm seeing our current numbers and what can we do? Do we have enough to invest in this much in the future or
Right.
everything else? So
Right. Okay. Um, May, I see you on here. Your mic working, May? Or
It's
more?
Moy. Can you hear me?
oh, that's my
Sorry.
best friend.
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Just realized you were leaving. Um,
I can hear you, Moy. Did you have something to say?
No, not as of yet. I was
Okay.
chiming in my head, but everybody say everything I was thinking. So
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So that's one thing I'm now. Erica said 200, and that was bold of her to say that, and that's what I wanted to hear, because I always, when I talk to women, I'll say, "Well, how much do you want the man to make?" And they'll say, "Well, I don't know." But then you get with the man and then be mad if he's not at a certain level, he can't do certain stuff. And so I think that's important to understand and to figure out that number. But then also, um, Eric, you made me think of something, and forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong.
No, it's fine.
You made me think of something that I think would be good for every woman that foresees a point in life of being married, having kids, or adopting kids, and wanting to be home with the children. I think it would be genius for every woman to get a level of financial literacy and investing knowledge to assist your husband in investing his income, because not every man will know that or see it the same way. And so, like what Ari said, she was like, I'm into investing, and so I look at streams of income. So if we got a t-shirt business, and if we got a selling plates on Sunday business, and if you got a corporate job, now you got three streams of income. You earning money, different amount from each one, but you also have some investments, so you kind of flipping your money, and you working on your credit. And I think that's a huge thing, because what I'll say as a man, it's a lot of pressure on men to have to earn the money, learn how to invest the money, but then also give a family everything that they want. I was just talking to my sister who is a single mom, and her 18-year-old is graduating, and her 18-year-old want a MacBook, which is like $2,500, and a iPad mini, which is another $300 or $400 for her graduation gift. And that's $3,000. And then she want to drive the Sprinter that I'm in. She want me to drive the Sprinter to drop her off at college. And this is a single mom. So just think about that. That's what she asking of her single mom. So imagine when a dad is in the home too, what the kids be wanting. And then if the dad is the one who is, working at the time, or if the woman is working, whoever that is that's working, so the other one can be 100% focused on the kids, that's a whole lot of pressure. It's a whole lot of pressure. And I'm seeing that in coaching and talking to people. And one of the things I keep noticing with this is, and I think that's why it was a question. So the lady, she said, hey, I'm saving myself till marriage. Then when the man said, hey, I'm saving my money until marriage, she like, whoa, hold on now. I ain't, now what you be? You saving your money. You can unmute your mic, Kimberly. And so it was kind of like she was taken aback, like, whoa, nah, that money mean a whole lot. And that's what I'm noticing in marriage, is that I'm seeing it's a lot of arguments over money, his money, her money, or our money, the lack of money, and how money is spent. And it's
I had
very
to stay up,
interesting.
Mom.
Say
Go
it
ahead,
again,
Erica.
Kimberly.
Somebody else was speaking as well. They can go first.
I think her call.
They clicked off. Okay, so I can only speak for myself. I had a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked a full-time, 12-hour-a-day construction job my entire life. And when I turned 16, 17, and I wanted my own car, he said, okay, get a job and walk to work, and I'll meet you halfway. Whatever you save, I'll meet you. You save 1,000, I'll put in 1,000. And when I finally was able to purchase my first vehicle, my dad paid half, I paid half. And they're like, okay, well, how are you going to pay for insurance now that you have a car? I had to get insurance in my own name as a teenager. They did not add me to their insurance plan. So I really think it's just a matter of like my children, when they want something special that's not on our monthly budget, they pull that out of their own chore money. It's not like they get an allowance. They have to earn their chore money. So it's really just materialistic stuff can't make you happy. We see millionaires that commit suicide all the time. So realistically, it's just, what's the one, what does it say? One hand open and satisfied instead of forever reaching for more. The next newest outfit, the next newest car, the next newest house. There's no satisfaction in that, in my opinion.
You're right. That's a good point. Yeah. Let me see. Some men real disrespectful when they have a check and you don't. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed, with us men. When we have that money, this my money. Hey, I work for this money. And but see, my thing as a man though, when I say it's our money, that money go to getting spent. And, and so I be like, oh, nah, do I need to go back to it's my money? Because when I said it's our money, and so but one thing I've learned as a man, which has motivated me, it keep me motivated, is my wife. She loves, she enjoys convenience in the sense of she likes to be able to have what she needs when she needs it, and that's a luxury. But she also know how to thug it out, like Devontae said. We live with a $99 bed, no furniture in the living room, on food stamps. She was smiling and she was happy. And then we started earning money, smiling and happy. And the thing is sometimes when you dealing with money, stuff goes up and down, especially if it's an entrepreneur. Now you work in corporate, you get the same check every 2 weeks or every week, however it works. But when entrepreneur, stuff goes up and down. And so if you create a lifestyle at 100K, but then something happened like the pandemic, and then now your 100K is 50K, but your lifestyle is at 100K. Now some adjustments have to be made, and if that means turning in a car, or kids got to get out of private school, go to public school, that's real embarrassing. That's a huge thing. And I think that's what's driving a rift in marriages is just money and those woes around money, and just sometimes not feeling like teammates. So whoever has the earning feels like they got to say so. And then whoever isn't working feels like the other person money is their money. So if they get access to spend it, they spend it like they spending somebody else's money. They spend it like they spending a stimulus check instead of spending it like they work for it. And so what we work for, we treat it totally different. We see it totally different than if somebody come hand us what did you do with your stimulus check? And I think that kind of help us understand how we'll view if our partner is the breadwinner. But I think this is something that I would love for the singles to think about, and even with the couples too, to think about money and how we view it. And is it a healthy viewpoint? Because it is. They say the number one cause of divorce is money, and I could kind of see that sometimes. Although some other things may be in there, some disrespect, some cheating, but that money is like the thing that kind of is a riff.
Well, I
Let
have
me
a
see.
question, Tony. Oh,
Yep, go ahead.
what is it just the new generation where boys or men today are not being taught to be providers for families? Because I mean, I was once married. I was married for 10 years. And he talked a good game, but he was not able to provide. He just it never came to fruition for him to be a provider.
And so that's the thing that scared me when y'all said that's the thing that scared me when y'all said a man have to make 200K, because that right there, I've heard the average man in America makes 45 45,000. And so 200K is really hard to get to. It's really hard to get to. And I think 90% of men will never get there. And so that's something to think about. I seen somebody say 80K. So it's really like you could live on any amount of money, just depending on, you know, you can live on any amount of money just depending on the lifestyle you want to have. So we lived on 20,000 to 40,000 a year, and it just was a different lifestyle. And then we lived on 150,000 a year. It was just a different lifestyle. And so I'll say that to say this something to do some inner work about. And oh man, I was supposed to turn off the thing, but I got to get going. I'm gonna try this some more times and maybe later at night, because my son get out of practice in 5 minutes, and I'm teaching a class tonight on healing at 9 p.m. So we get done here 7:30. I'll be home 8. I gotta be on Zoom at 9. So what I'll do, because y'all on here and I held you, I'll leave the healing class open for another 15 minutes for anybody who didn't get to join, because I was holding you. Let me put the link in the chat. If I can have Oh, y'all missed it. So we're gonna have us a good talk tonight. 10 steps of healing that we'll be talking about. And so thank y'all so much for being on here. And I'll try this, some other times when it's a topic for, the culture, for the country, something that's going viral, something that's happening, and we need to talk about, as individuals, get different perspectives. I'll try this here. And then these people that got my money, so I'm definitely gonna be trying this stream a little more because you have to pay for a year in advance. So this costs $250. I need to get my money's worth. And thank y'all to those of you on Patreon. Today is the first. So with Patreon, with that support, we're going to be creating another season of titles, Lord willing. I put some castings on Patreon today, but you have to be a Patreon supporter to see the casting. Casting for a couple of unscripted shows and for YouTube. And so I'll put that link in the chat as well. It should be in the link in the description of some of my videos. But I appreciate that. And the first is always the best day if you're gonna join because it charges you on the first of the month each month. So God bless y'all and thank y'all everybody who came on here, all of y'all who was bold enough to get on video. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for having
Appreciate you,
us.
Tony.
Thanks
All
for having
right.
us.
All right, talk soon.